Hi, senior friends. So today we're going to be talking about that research paper organizer. We're only going to get a little bit of it done step by step because if you look at the whole thing, that gets a little overwhelming. So let's take a moment to look here at this weekly plan you should be using. So remember, I went to classwork, and the top thing is always going to be that weekly plan. And I notice that you should either be sending me your thesis on Monday or Tuesday, depending on if you are an A-day student or a B-day student. And then either Monday or Tuesday, again, depending on A or B day, you're learning a little bit about this research paper organizer. So this video is if you were absent on October 5th or 6th, or if you were otherwise unable to get the material. And so this is what this is for you. So then you're going to be moving to doing page 1 of the research paper organizer. And then you're going to be working on page 3. And then you're going to be working on pages 3 and 4. Now, page red is just that introductory paragraph, and if you don't totally finish the introductory paragraph on Wednesday, it's not the end of the world. But I do really want you hitting these pages 3 and 4 real hard, because these are your body paragraphs. Now, you notice how there's a number and a color. The reason for that is the paper copy here has numbers, as you see, but then there are also colors for the digital copy. So that digital copy, as you saw, is here in the research paper organizer, but also you can get to it by going to 12th grade with me, going down to senior project, going over to research, and you'll notice you have a plethora of resources, particularly when you go to the paper. Okay, you've got some of my videos from last year, some of Summerlin's videos from previous years. You got some steps. You've got a bunch of different resources to be able to use. Now you've got this one in your paper packet you received. This one's not in your paper packet, but it is an excellent resource. And then this information's also in your paper packet. So let's look at this digital copy. Like I said, pretty straightforward. It's color-coded in the digital copy, and it's numbered by the paper copy. Once again, this is just to seek clarity regardless of whichever material you're using. Now, look here and recognize you must submit a digital copy of the organizer or the paper copy of the organizer. Either is fine, but you gotta submit a paper copy organizer. That will be a grade. That will be a Britlit grade. The organizer is a Britlit grade because this is measuring your reading and writing skills like a Britlit assignment, and also because we're going to be spending a lot of class time on it, so we're going to need this to show what you are and are learning. I was going to say are not learning, but we're going to assume you're learning. I'm confident in you. So let's look at our example that we worked on in class. So you'll notice that the rough draft is due October 15th on Thursday, and you'll notice the final draft is due November 13th on Friday. Now, if you just follow along and do everything that I say as I say to do it in this weekly organizer, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I will elaborate on what exactly must be turned in for the rough draft as we get closer to it. For now, follow along with what I'm asking you to do. Okay? So, for this example, I'm just going to focus on your thesis. Just going to focus on your thesis. Make sure as you are going through this, you are reading each section, okay? This is the new and improved version from last year, so if you watched the previous one, I go over these same ideas, but this is our new and improved version based on what the places I saw struggle last year. So if I've got my thesis, I'm going to use quote storage. Don't you remember quote storage? If you haven't done quote storage, this would be a great time to do quote storage. But I'm going to figure out what ideas best support my thesis based on what I've got available to me in quote storage. And so what I found was I've got 3 topic sentences best supported by what's in quote storage. Those topic sentences are dogs reduce stress and improve overall well-being. Dogs deserve loving families, and dogs make the world a better place. Now, these are not the type of topic sentences that you would really want to use for your research paper. This is kind of like a made-up example. This first one, however, would be good for your research paper, so this is the one we're going to work with for our example. So we're going to start with our topic sentence. This is me talking about writing with evidence and working on body paragraphs. So body paragraph 1 is that first topic sentence. Starts with that first topic sentence. Dogs reduce stress and improve overall well-being. So now I need a quote. I need to introduce the quote with my own words, and I need to make sure that I use a citation. The very last page of your packet is a copy, an annotated copy of the resources that you received in class when you started on your annotated bibliography. Looking at y'all's annotated bibliographies, I did notice a place of struggle with your citations and quote usage, so do make sure you are using this resource. Your citations need to have last name, year, and page number. And you can see some examples and some sentence structures that you can use. Notice I even wrote example on the side for you. Now look, 40 words or more is going to be a long quote. It's going to end up being a block quote. If you want to use a block quote, you can use a maximum of 1, and you must get your block quote approved with me. If you're going to use a block quote, you must get it approved with me. Otherwise, your quotes need to just be a single sentence from your source. And again, if you've got some struggles with most citation questions, this paper is going to address that, as well as those resources I gave you online. That Purdue OWL is going to be your best friend here. Okay? So once again, make sure that you are introducing quotes with your own words, and that you're also properly making sure all of this information is cited. So with that being said, we're going to use some research from Dr. Billie Jean. Yes, this is made up. Once again, I want a little bit of entertainment value in our example. According to research by Dr. Jean, we're going to use the last name. We're not going to call Billie Jean by her first name. We're going to use her last name. According to research by Dr. Jean, dogs can decrease a person's cortisol levels by 7% when they bark. Cortisol levels, just for that's the stress hormone. It's what makes you stressed. When a person sees a dog, their brain releases 10 million grams of dopamine, effectively sparking joy. And then I've got the rest of my citation. Fun fact, pretty sure that would kill you. 10 million grams of dopamine. I don't think, either way. So, since we have the author's last name here, all we need here at the end is the year and the page number. We need to make sure every time we use a quote that we're addressing the author's last name and the year and page number with every single quote. Most of your sources are going to have more than one author, so it would be like Jean in Hayes. So you'd have both those names there. Every time we use a quote, then we need to analyze and explain, what is that quote doing? What is it saying, and why does it matter? So the body's physical response to seeing and hearing dogs decreases stress and generates happiness. Being happy is good for your health. Okay, so we've explained what the quote's saying, and we're explaining why it's good. So now we need a second quote. Each body paragraph needs at least 2 quotes. You can have more than 2 quotes, but you need at least 2 quotes. 2 quotes. You need 2 quotes from 2 different sources. You need 2 quotes from 2 different sources. 2 quotes from 2 different sources. Got it? Very serious about this. You must have 2 quotes from 2 different sources. I think I spelled different wrong, but I'm trying to talk and write, and that's difficult. Okay, from 2 different sources. 2 different sources. Okay? I also have that in all caps right here. Okay. Not only do dogs spark joy, but they can also cure depression. Walking a dog can, and then notice here I've integrated the quote into my own sentence, so I start my quote here, which means that since I don't have the author's name here, I need the author's name down here. I wrote this pretend article this year, and this is from page 42. So walking a dog can get a person out of the house and interacting with others, which are important steps in recovering from depression. So notice, is there a period there? No, the period goes after the citation. Period goes after the citation right there. And so again, every time I use a quote, I've got to explain what's the quote do and why does it matter. Being active and social are important for good mental health and physical health. Even if a person is not depressed, walking a dog improves their physical and mental well-being. Okay, so I've taken some evidence, I've explained why the evidence matters, I've explained why the evidence is important, how it supports my thesis. Now I need, how do these overall ideas, how does this topic sentence connect back to my thesis? Remember, my thesis is that everyone should own a dog. Dog ownership supports good health, so everyone should own a dog to be more healthy. So see, I just connected the big idea here back to my thesis. So that's one complete body paragraph right here. That's one complete body paragraph. Same thing like you did with the annotated bib, where you've got each section does something, and then you bring it all together. So page 3 is one paragraph. Page 3 is one paragraph. What is yellow on the digital copy is one paragraph. Page 3 is yellow on the digital copy. So all the yellow boxes on your digital copy are going to be page 3. Once again, this color coding is here for a reminder. Okay, and it's also color-coded as you saw when you look at the assignment. It's color-coded up there for you. Pretty straightforward. So let's talk about what else is in here. You've got 2 other body paragraphs. We're going to be doing the same type of thing. Then you're going to have a concession where you're going to acknowledge the other side of the argument. You've got a concession where you're going to acknowledge the other side of the argument. And then a conclusion. We're going to talk about concessions and conclusions later. Right now, we're focusing on our introduction and we're focusing on our body paragraphs. Now, to help you look at the big picture, I've got all this set up on this one paper for you. Okay, oopsie. So in one space, here's where you've got everything in one space. Okay, so if you need to be able to see the big picture, right there on page 8, everything in one space, okay? Page 9 has all this information, but with an example. Page 9 has all this information, but with an example, so you can get an idea of how all this becomes your paper. In the same way that your annotated bib pre-writing, that annotated bibliography organizer, became your annotated bibliography, and all you had to do is format, we're doing the same thing here. Remember how I told you I'd take you step by step? This is taking you step by step. Notice each of these quotes comes from a different source. Each body paragraph needs quotes from at least 2 different sources. I've also, on page 10, given you another resource. Page 10. Here I've given you some transition words to help with your flow here for you to be able to use as you're writing. And additionally, I've given you some phrases to help you with your evidence, with introducing evidence, okay? And again, remember this very last page is to help you with your citations. So this week, this first week of October 5th to the 9th, you're working on filling this out. Okay. Make sure you're reading the header to each section closely. Then you're going to have the defining the issue paragraph. We're going to talk about this a little more next week. You remember this week, our big focus is getting these body paragraphs done. So having your thesis, having your topic sentences, and then getting these body paragraphs out of your topic sentences, okay? Now, you've got your thesis approved by me, or you're going to get it approved by me today or tomorrow. Later this week, I'm going to make you approve your topic sentences with me. Later this week, you're going to approve your topic sentences with me. If you want to get those approved in advance so that you can go ahead and continue on with your life, that'd be excellent. You know how to reach me. Once again, just a reminder, if anytime you need me, that email address is brittany.hayes@ccboe.net. You'll get that response pretty fast. One final message before you go. You can do this, okay? I am here to help you. You've got all the resources in your hands, all the tools you need. You've got this.